All right, welcome back. We're on day 9 of Gem Wars. The game is coming along. We started to add this draw panel onto it. The draw panel creates disposable pieces, which get destroyed. We also added in the pieces don't get destroyed, the container that they're in, but then you always have your traditional 5 and then your re-rolls here. We haven't put any logic in that detects, that decides what kind of pieces these are. So if I look over here, this first one is a tier 1 piece. It costs 2 of tier 1, whatever that gets assigned because it's random for every time. The second one costs 3 of tier 1 and 1 of tier 2. Let's do 2. And all 4 should cost I'm just thinking here because we want these things to also have gems on them. But let's just start like this, okay? So when I look at the script for how this is created, at the moment, my pieces, when this gets instantiated, that's happening here in the UI. Here, we're going to change this so that instead of instantiating a piece like this, we're going to instantiate using the Scriptable object service. So why is this not sounding right? All right, there we go. Okay, so what I want to do is on the, we're going to use the Scriptable object service for this. So Scriptable object factory. And we want to have one here, which is a create and I'm going to make a new function in here for this one. And I'm going to say that it's a get piece so and create, and we're going to have something like a piece type. And that's fine. That's just going to create this one instance of a piece. And it's not going to be anything special. But we're going to use this because I want to do a create piece SO here. And we want to do it for we want a random piece. So a random.range from my 0 to my enum.type .get names which is a type of piece type .length. And I'm going to cast that as a piece type. There we go. And so this is now going to be a piece SO. Now I need to connect this to a prefab. I do have my piece type here. So up here you have these piece prefabs. I could put the prefab on the individual scriptable object. So on piece SO, I could add a public piece script called a piece script prefab. So now I could instantiate this piece by using the piece so.prefab. And then we can init it. Okay, we're going to want to do the same thing on the draw script. And that's actually where it's more important. Place piece and drawer. So there's a container script here. Here. So in this one, you're creating a new type of draw piece SO. And then we're selecting the piece script prefab. And we're again going to put the prefab on the piece. And then we're going to instantiate it. And then set everything. Okay, so now that that's done, that's fine because this is just selecting from any one of the random types. So now that that's done, when we init this, this is where it's happening is the create blocks. So I could overwrite this, is what I could do. I could also make a new constructor for this. So this only happens when we're doing a draw, right? So this only gets called when the pieces are drawn. And so it uses a different fill blocks create blocks method. Okay. So in the piece, we can have another one of these, which is going to come from a draw piece SO. And it's also going to have a game. There we go. This is going to work. And it's a game SO. So now I'm going to look at my draw piece. And it's going to have a piece on here. and then a type, which is the same color, and also a tier. So what I want to do is a switch on my draw piece dot draw piece type. Let me just think about this for a second. Because you want to have another one of these. This is what's confusing me right now. We're going to say that we're going to have another one of these called random. And then I want to have another one called draw piece gem. This is where I was getting myself confused. Draw piece gem SO. And this is a draw piece SO. And this one's going to have a gem SO. And then also a gem piece type. Same gem. Now, if I look back over here at my draw piece SO, this includes a piece. But I also want this to include a number of these gem SOs. Just a second. So we could put this all on the same one. Like that. And then we'll make a new class in here. Called it serializable. And this is going to be an array of draw piece gem SO. And we'll just call that gems, or draw pieces, draw piece gems, like that. And then you also want to say your draw piece gems here equals your c.draw piece gems. Okay, that's better. And so now what I want to do is we want to add the other switch in here for random. So if it's random or default, we don't want to do anything. Okay, if it's same color too, blocks is a collection. So I want to say this. So this is selecting my block color. And then breaking out. So let's move this function here to be a protected virtual void create block. And we want to return it here. Otherwise, I want to return nothing. Now you could do it another way, where you're just going to have a color type. Which is called a block type. Block color. Like that. So up here, we can now say block equals create block. And then down here, you can put this as a block.setGem and break out. So here we're going to say now a create block of a random type, and then a var block2 equals create block of a block1 dot block color. Now, when these blocks are created, how is it setting the It's not. These things just sit there. It doesn't know their positioning yet. So up here, after we create all of these things, we want to do a blocks.order by GUID.newGUID. We want to set our blocks equal to that. Okay, we're going to do the same thing here for same color 3. So we're going to say same color 2, 1. And then same color 2, 2. I'm sorry, 3, 1. And that's 3, 1, 3, 2. And then our block color 3, 2 will just be nothing. Same thing again here for 4. 4, 4, 2. This is going to be block 3, and this one's block 4. And now you want to say for I goes to my if my blocks.length.count is less than my 4, then we can do the for loop, which is going to go from the blocks.count, and it's going to be 4 minus that. And then we're going to create a block. And then order it. Okay. So now we need to do the same thing for a gem. Why is that got a? It's that. Okay. So now we're going to have one here called protected virtual gem SO called create gem, and we want to do this on a block. You want to have another one called gem SO called create gem, and you want to do it on a block color, and you want to do it with a, come on microphone, and you want to do it with a block color, and the other one is gem type. So this is for gem. So let's bring this down here. And we're going to get a random variable and percent. We're going to go through my gem percent chances. This you want to include a block SO. And then you're going to create it, set it, and breakout. Otherwise, you're going to return null. The next one, we're just going to use this as a gem type. And we're going to add it to a block SO. because this is only a chance, right? This is only a chance to create the gem. So this is going to try create gem. So at the end of all of these blocks, you can do a try create gem of the block. Like that. And now it's automatically done. And that should be it. Yep, I think that's good. So now we can build this. Now, on my draw piece, when you create this block, we want to have another one of these, which is a draw piece SO. This is to create the gem from the template draw piece SO. And we're just going to have this as a, I'm going to leave it like this for now. So for each one of my draw pieces, dot costs, dot draw piece gems, this has a gem and a gem piece. Now you have this gem piece type currently. But you don't want to use this gem piece because we want to have a tier with it, right? Because a draw piece is going to be by the tier. And then a description about how many are there. So we'll put this as none. Then I can move this up here. Get rid of this. And we can add this one up here. As a gem tier type. So we're going to call this draw color type. Draw piece color type, and we're going to name this gem draw piece gem type. And then also you want to have a tier type for my draw tier type. Now I have a piece, a draw color type. So we're going to call this a draw piece gem type. And then this one a draw piece gem tier type. And then a draw piece color type tier type. Tier type. And this one a draw piece color tier color type. Okay? So now we've got piece, this one, and then we got two more here and here. Okay, we're good there. So this is now a draw piece color type. And we want this to be a draw piece SO. And so in this you have a tier for the color. And what I want to do is I want to get my game dot tiers dot first or default, where my tier type is equal to my draw piece dot draw piece color tier type. And then I want to get the block color here. And then here you're going to do a try to create the gem with your... You don't want to do that here. Well, actually, we're going to move this to be a... back up here. So, to be honest, you could do this as a for loop where we could say var I equals 0. And then I could just do a I equals 2, I equals 3, and then I equals 4. So now down here, I could just do for I goes to I, index, whatever. I just want to do a create block. It's a lot easier to read. And now when you do that, this is where I want to see if I want to try to create the gem. So it's a little different. Now what I want to do is I want to look at my draw piece. And I'm going to do another switch on it. On my gem tier type, on my gem color type. And now I'm going to set my index back to be 0 here. And this is going to be index equals 2. Index equals 1, 3. And index equals 4. You also want to have a case for the single. And in that case, you want to say index equals 1. And we're going to say, now that the blocks are created, we are going to create the gems. And now same thing, for I goes to my index, I want to say and up here, I'm going to order this right here. Randomize the blocks. And so what I want to do is I want to do a create gem on my blocks of I, and I want to pass in a gem type of my so this is just called create gem, and it's going to pass in the draw piece. And a block. So now what you want to do is something similar to what we did up here where we got my block color. We're going to get my draw piece gem tier type. And then we're going to get the gem type. And then all I'm going to do is create it, set it, and return it. And so this is now my draw piece. And that should do it. Looks good. When we jump back over here and we check to see how this is going to draw it now, we're going to say that these are a piece. The costs are 1. It has a type May get rid of this piece because I can make it, I'm going to have otherwise a ton of options. And this one we could say the colors are same color 4. And we're going to make it tier 2. And this one we could say same gem 4, and we're going to make it tier 2. Let's see how that does. If I look back at my asset database, I can remove the last 2. So we want to go to 173. The object you want to instantiate is null. Oh, because I added onto these pieces a prefab. So this one is I. J. L. O. S. T. And a Z. Wasn't there another one that I added too? What was the other thing that I wanted to instantiate? One here, we wanted to have this prefab. Yeah, let's see if it comes back. Okay, so everything seems to be working. When I look at the draw pieces, it's telling me we get a 100% chance. And it doesn't look like that this is using the new functions yet. So let's look at where this is being called. Is here. And then we want to do a create blocks and pass in the draw piece. Now it should work. And that's getting called from here, which needs to have a SO, which is called the draw piece. That should do it. And there we go. So everything is tier 2, and it's 4 out of 4. If I was to change this now, I'm happy when things work on the first try. If I was to change the scriptable object here to be a tier 2 gem 2, and we can see that they're all different. It looks like the rotation is changing on the non-gem ones. Okay, we don't need that. Now this would actually be a draw piece dot piece type. And then it's creating the blocks on it, and then knitting the blocks on the piece. That's where it should be setting it. So if I was to look at this again, it's only these purple ones. The other ones all look fine. It's only these purple ones that are not setting. And it's not setting because this is getting called here. This create blocks. It's less than or equal to. I bet you. Now they all look fixed. And we shouldn't always get the purple ones now because this is going to change percentages. So this time we should get no. There we go. Now it's interesting, all the other colors here are yellow, so let me try that again. So now here all the other colors are red. Well, you said that the colors of this need to be type 2, so that's why they're the red ones. The gem types are type 2, so that's right, and then the blues are filling it, so that is correct. So when I look at these, I don't really care what piece it is. So I'm going to scrap that. If I look at my drawer container script, We actually want to do this too. Okay. Now, one thing I'm going to do is I want to look in my factory here. And we'll just do this one more time. And instead of doing it that way, we can do a order by GUID.new GUID and then just select the first one. And then the same thing here. And then the same thing here. Okay. That looks right. Piece blocks. Okay, everything built. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, it's been a little bit since I've done this, so we're going to go to the global manager. And in here, I want to create a bunch of assets. So what would be the easiest way to go about doing this? We could look up a other project that I have. It's just been a little bit since I've done this. We'll make a new script for this. I'm going to call it Asset Exporter. Still loading. And we'll make this a static class. Sure is taking its time. So we can just look this up online probably faster. We're going to look up Unity export scriptable objects save. That's not at all what I want. Okay, so go away. We're just going to ignore that for a second. The only thing I need to do is open up something in the scripts. And what I want to do is one of these, and I have these things all saved. Okay, so we're going to say that this is a create draw piece SO. And all I want to pass in here is an asset database. So isn't that just called a scriptable object database or a asset database SO? What the hell? Okay, let's change the name of this to be Asset Exporter 2. We've got some kind of an indexing problem. There it is. Now it's working. Okay, and so what we want is to use the static class scriptable object, and we're going to create an instance of the draw piece SO. This isn't right. This one is the right one. So it's this. Create asset here from this asset database. And all I want to do here is a for each var item in asset database dot scriptable objects dot of type draw piece SO. I want to create an asset. Okay, that's not completely correct. What you want to do is a for I goes to my type of, and it's a enum dot get names of my type of And what were these two things called in draw piece? Draw piece color type. And then for the other one, which is of k to my enum.get names of my type of draw piece gem type. Dot length. And then you can do a for I to my enum.get names of my type of draw tier type dot length. And then we need to do one more, which goes to the kk of enum.get names of my type of tier type dot length. And then I'm going to do a var scriptable object equals scriptable object dot create instance of a type of draw piece SO. And then I want to set the properties here. So this is a tier type of my II. And the color type is a I, and the draw piece gem tier type equals a tier type of kk, and then the draw piece gem type equals a draw piece gem type of k. And then you want to create your asset. Which is called scriptable object. And I want to put it in the assets folder inside another folder called draw pieces so dot asset. And we're going to say that this is a draw piece. And I want to add in here a we're going to say it's a draw piece color type of I, and we want to do a toString on that. And then we want to do another one of a tier type of II. And then you want to do another one of a draw piece gem type of K. And then the last one is a tier type of KK. And we want this to return void, and that's it. Now you're actually never using this asset database, so that's funny. Okay, so we're just going to use this create draw pieces thing from my global and this is called a asset exporter. So now when I jump into the game and I run it, it should generate all of these assets real fast. Seems like that's quite a few. Wait for it to finish. There it is. Now if I look at this, we've generated $720 of these things. So that's probably too many, right? So let me go over here and we can get rid of this line and jump down to my asset exporter. Comment out everything here and here. Now if I look at everything that's generated here, we have tier 1, none, with random colors. So I really kind of want to dump these into the individual tiers, right? Yeah. So one of the things is that now you have 6 tiers. That's why it generated so many of these things. So let's get rid of these. That's too many. Let's try it again. This time, on my color type, I could put the tiers on the cost. So let's get rid of these two tiers right now. And then that'll free up this one and this one. Now in my folder here, I want this to be my So in my folder, I want this to go by the That's okay, we'll do it like this, just right in the middle, because it's going to have considerable less. And then up on the global, I can do my asset exporter dot create them. So here now, it doesn't know what color I want. And the same thing here. So we're going to add something in here which is just called temp to remove and evaluate against what is available and or what the player can play is available in the game at this time. And we're just going to have a public virtual, and it's going to be a gem type called get random gem type, and we'll change all this later. And all we're going to do is return a cast gem type Unity engine dot random dot range from 0 to my enum dot get names of a type of gem type dot length. And then we need to do another one of here for get random block color. And it's going to be the same thing, like that. And here we can say gem type equals get random gem type. And up here I can do the same thing and say var block color equals get random block color. So now when we run it, it's already done. Now we have 20 different pieces. I feel like that's a lot easier to manage. So in my draw pieces now, I can delete these, drop my asset database by 1, and bring all these things up here into draws. Change this to be draw pieces. So random, you can see all the settings here are set correctly. Okay, so now on my cost, it's any number of tier types and quantity. All right, that works. So now what I can do is on my asset database, we can drag all these in. And now we can go ahead and start this up. So my costs will be 6, right? And now costs are a little bit different. So when it comes to costs, let's say that this costs just a tier 1, 3, or 2 of them, something like that. But your currency could be the cost of the gem. So we could do like, this one could be like a tier 1 and cost 2. This one could be a tier 1 and cost 3. This one could be a tier 1 and cost 4. But these are for gems. So that one could be just 1 and 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, all on tier 1. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. So on my draw piece, I'm going to scrap this tier type. And now over here, this isn't going to know any longer what type I want. And I could do something like a game dot current round dot tier gem chances. And I want to do a where my gem chance is greater than 0. Percent chance is greater than 0. And then I want to do a order by a GUID. So it's completely random. And then we want to do the first or default. Hey there, Ultimas. How are you doing? So I need to get the gem type. So I get that from the tier type. There we go. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Just slamming through this stuff right now. That should be good. Same color 2 will be a 2, 3, 4, and a 5, 2, 3, 1, it's a 2, 1, and it's a 3, 1, and it's a 4, 1, and it's a 5, and 1, and it's a 7. No, not on my side. Programmer's kind of nice. It's not too terrible. Okay, this next one is going to start at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, same thing. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then this one is going to be 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I unfortunately lost my job because of Corona, but I'm starting my own company with a friend, so it's not too bad on either side. That's cool. You guys have investors or funding, or you okay for it at the moment? I'm really sorry to hear about losing your job, but at least your head is in the right place. It looks like I forgot to destroy these. And in here, we want to get rid of that. And then in my asset database, I want to come in here and, oh, I can change that. Maybe that's one of the things that's the problem. I think it's the cable to that one. All right. Oh, it's like I touch it and it breaks. I think my cable's going out. Okay. Anyways, so now on my asset exporter, I want to comment this out. And then comment, get rid of those. Okay, this time we'll give it a start. You can see the pieces that it drew here. Some of these things are not getting set still. So 2 and 3. Like that one. And that one. So I'm unhappy with the way these gems are being generated. That time nothing came out upside down, so I'm pretty sure I know why that's happening. You can see the currency requirements are very high. But it's getting there. Like this one is just 4 randoms. I think that's the Microsoft logo. But this should have never generated because these are 0. So we need to fix it here. I gotta go eat some food. Call that good for today. We'll be back tomorrow morning starting at 6:30 a.m. If you have any questions, make sure you pop them in our chat. Discord.pixelhorrorstudios.com. Also, I put all these videos up at youtube.pixelhorrorstudios.com. Thanks again, guys, and have a great rest of your night. Bye.